First of all, family and friendships are very important for people with mental illness. There are many people with a serious mental illness who may not have any friends or few friends. And in Australia, unfortunately, many people with mental illness have experienced what's called social isolation as a result of people's fears about mental illness. So they're excluded from society because of people's misperceptions about what mental illness is.
So to have friends and family members who believe you and know that it is because of your illness you're acting in a certain way, I think is the most important thing. Before medication, before seeing a psychiatrist, before seeing any health professional.
All you're doing is going out there and being prepared to chat enough to someone to be able to see whether there's a problem that needs some sort of further help. And this can only be done if somebody actually is prepared to engage.
The difficulty is that some people need it and will appreciate it, but there's another group of people with mental illness, particularly when people get depressed, because part of the nature of depression is to withdraw from the world, withdraw from your family, withdraw from your friends, to not answer the phone, to go to your bedroom. And these people will still appreciate it, but they'll be harder to engage. But when they come out of the episode, they will remember the person who visited, the person who said the right word at the right time.
Some depressives just do want to be by themselves, but even then, that's often a dangerous way to be for a long time. And by visiting them, by even just sitting silently with them, watching TV or not watching TV, it gives them a feeling of that they're not alone. Because when you're feeling down, you think you're the only person in the world feeling down. And they forget about Winston Churchill, and they forget about the sports stars that have, like myself and others. They forget about the politicians who've had to resign. They didn't notice that in the first place. They think that they're the only person in the world.
I heard a person at a book launch the other day give a tribute to his wife, and he said, when I go into the depression, she just says very gently, "It will pass, it will pass." I think that's a wonderful story because it's a comment that showed her empathy, but also it captures his memory of how she is so supportive and understanding.
I'm just fortunate that when I have been in those spaces, I've had people that have either helped me to get to hospital or have been there to tell me that things are going to be okay, that I will get through it. And I've been there before, and even though I can't see at that time that it's going to be okay, they can reassure me that they know they've seen me get through it before. And that's so important, to have that support to get through it.
The role of the Vincentians is actually to be a substitute family member, a caring person who goes around, and as I said, they're not therapists, but they are sort of sensitive, and they will be sensitive with training to the needs of these people, and have the capacity to alert the appropriate carers and authorities, meaning the mental health service or the GP or whoever may be the prime carer in the community, of some change in mental state.
And a response that shows that we welcome them into our society, that we're not frightened of them. We don't have to form long-term intimate friendships with them necessarily, but we have to provide a friendly face, a friendly voice, a response that recognises their dignity and welcomes them into our shops, our centres, into our and in our visitation, that treats them like human beings.
To be a companion, to be a friend.
To have the support of other people that know what it's like to have a mental illness.
To try to assist in areas that they can assist in, to not promise things that they can't do.
Lack of friendship is poverty, so friendship is essential to get in touch with these people, to build trust with them and to build relationships.
And this is where Vincentians come in. They're the only link to these poor unfortunate people, because they belong to a reputable organisation who are trustworthy go around and sort of try to do the best they can.
There's not a great deal of assistance for a lot of these people out in the bush. We'd probably be the only charity in a lot of these places where people can come, and a lot of times they only want to talk. They may want to get a feed or something like that, they might want some food, but underlying it all is probably the need to come and talk to somebody who's sympathetic, and that's what our Vincentians are. In the main, they're all very sympathetic, and they're there to help people. That's our role.
Some of the services people might need might be home care, Meals on Wheels, access to GPs, or a regular GP preferably, access to leisure activities, access to low-cost social opportunities.
It could be an interest in a hobby. It could be sitting with someone who may want to do some sewing. It could be an interest in sport and sharing our knowledge and our reading of sport with someone else. It's just about developing that relationship that becomes a two-way thing, becomes a friendship.